Hi everyone, I'm Megan with TESS, Travel Solutions. So I'm here working with the software, the CRM that you all use, hopefully daily. So I wanted to come on today just to answer a few questions that we often get from you agents, and hopefully that will help you grow your business and learn more about the CRM. So one question I get a lot of is, how do I make a change to a template? How do I create my own template from scratch? This is very useful if you want to just make an email more on brand, or create your own templates that are then going to pull into extensions or marketing emails even. It's a fairly easy process. It's just you need to know where to click. So let's take a look together. I'm going to go to my templates and email templates. Here, I'm not going to spend too much time on this screen. The reason being is that I won't be able to make changes from here. So I'm going to go straight to Manage Templates, and it's going to open a new page on your browser. What I like about that is that I can go back and forth from the CRM to the template builder without losing a piece. So here you'll have access to all the templates that either you've created or that were created that you have access to. So here, all I'm going to do, there are two things. I can either copy a template that's already in the system and make it my own, or I can create a new one altogether. The first thing I'm going to do here is maybe just copy one so you could see that process and how you can really make it your own. So let's take a look at the itinerary email, for example. The itinerary detail or itinerary detail with map, depending on which one you use the most of, you might want to add text at the top or at the bottom just to make it more your own. And if that's the case, there are two ways for you to copy a template. On this page here, you can see to the complete right, there's a copy button. When I click on that, it's going to take me to the template settings. So I can go modify those there. Or if you click on the template itself, it's going to open the template, but you can see here, I can't make changes to it because I'm not the owner of that template. So all I have to do is click the Add to My Library on your left, and I get to those same template settings. First thing I want you to do is remove that copy at the end, and in the front, just put either your initials, your name, your company short name. All the CRM needs is 3 letters. So I'll put my initials in. This will make it easier when you're trying to filter inside of a trip, for example. So if I'm in my communication tab and I click on that drop downs with all the templates, ideally at some point you'll have hundreds of emails in there that you use, but it will be easier for you to look for if you have that little tip of adding your initials in. The email subject you can change or you can leave it as is. Shared with, if you have subagents, you can pick everyone. All everyone means, it doesn't mean everyone within OA. It really means you and any subagents you have. If it's just you for right now, you can pick nobody, and that solves the issue. For the template header, if you have your own template header that you've already created prior to this, you can select it here, or you can just copy template header. The headers that are already in those templates work perfectly. They'll pull your logo, your agent's information, so you don't have to worry about that. So sometimes it's just easier to just pick that option. I'm going to do the same thing for the footer, and the template status is active, and I'm going to apply. Now this template is added to my library, so I can go in and make changes to it. For any template that you are copying that was already created, especially for proposals, invoice, and itinerary, you want to make sure that you don't touch what's in those brackets, what we call placeholders, because that's what's going to pull in automatically the information from your trip or your booking into that template. So even if you add one space, it's just not going to pull the information the way you need it. So if you are adding or making changes to it, just make sure to not touch those little sections here, just to ensure that it works perfectly for you. And then two-step process for the templates. First, you grab a grid and then a widget. The grid is really what you want the overall look of the item you're going to put inside of the email. So if I want an image to take the entire width of the template, I'm going to grab a full grid. If I want 2 images side by side, I would do 2 columns. That's just going to be the overall size of each item you're going to put in your template. So if I want to add just text at the very top and I want it to take the entire width of the email, I'm going to grab a full grid. And do you see where the blue line shows? It just shows where I'm dropping the item. Now here I misplaced it, which is okay. I can either delete it completely, or what I do is I just click on this little arrow to move it up. Inside of this empty space, I'm going to go click on widgets and I'm going to place text. Now, the text I want to place here is very simple. I just want to say, hi, client first name, here's information about your trip. So it's not something that I'm going to go and modify and edit last minute. However, if you do want to have a field where you would be able to edit on the fly, you can grab the text editable widget and place that in your email, and that would allow you to do just that. For me here, I just want static text. So I'm going to place that into my empty space. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to say hello, and I want the client first name to pull up first. So I'm going to use what we call placeholders. Those here at the top would allow you to put a client's first name and not have to modify it yourself. It will pull the client's first name for you and send over to them. There's a lot you can add here. Just know that when you do move things over, put multiple items, a lot of people usually just do it all in one grid. So here I have my text. They'll sometimes put an image inside of that grid. I recommend against that. And the reason being is that if you then want to center that image, for example, it's just going to make it that much harder for you to do. It's possible, just a little harder. So what I do is anytime I enter a new piece of information in my template, I'm going to add a new grid. It doesn't matter that it's 5 grids all in a row. It really will allow me a little bit more flexibility to edit if I need to. So if I wanted to add an image below this, or anything really, I would just go in and grab another full grid, and I would place it in my email and place an image, for example. That will just allow me to make easier edits to it. So if I want to center that image, it will be just easier because I can just go to those settings to the right and it will just be for that image, and I don't have to worry about the text that's at the top. So biggest tip for you all today, if you do play around with templates and add items, add a new grid every single time. On the client side, it doesn't look any different. It looks like one structured email. It will just make your life a little bit easier when you're trying to move things or center things if needed. Now, a question I get a lot on templates is also, how do I center an image? So first, let me add an image in here. Let's do one that I know might be smaller so we can hopefully center it. There we go. So obviously that's not going to go in my itinerary. I just want to show you how to center it and make it look nice. So the icons that I see at the top of my image here are going to be for me to add the image and make changes to the widget itself. The icons to the right are going to modify my grid. So if I want to center the image, I'm just going to click on this little yellow icon. Just to show you, I'll move this over a little bit. Column number 1, which is going to be my image, and I'm just going to center that and hit apply. That's going to center my image. Now, sometimes you do that, everything looks great, you save, and when you send yourself a test email, it's still not centered. I don't have an explanation on why it does that. What I do to fix it is I just go, instead of doing a full grid, I will grab a 3-column grid and I would place my image in the middle here. That way it's centered automatically. No matter what I do, it will look great. So let me remove all of those. If not, my itinerary email is going to look a little weird. So once you're done modifying your template, just hit save. So that was the first item that I know we get a lot of questions on, the template side. Now, using templates, it doesn't have to be just for emails. Now, I know a lot of you often ask, okay, I want to build my own trip activities. How do I do that with images? The way to do that and make it look really, really nice is actually using templates. So let's walk through the process. For those of you that are familiar, if you go to your trip management and trip activities, here you will see I have a few in here already with activities that have images. You don't need images necessarily. It could just look really nice if you add those in there, and that way you can pull those in to your proposal or itinerary, and it just looks that much nicer. Here, this is my favorite. I would love to be eating those right now. So you can make those look as great as you'd like, and they're saved in the system so that you can use them more than once. And that's the goal, to save your time in the long run. Same thing, a lot of people ask, well, what if my cruise is missing from the system? What do I do? How do I add it? Or I want to add more pictures to a property than what's already in there. This is how to do it. You can add your own activities, make it look the way you want it to look, and pull those in to your itineraries or into your traveling packages and your proposals. So adding a new activity, pretty straightforward. If I do add activity, you can pick the activity type that this will fit closest to. So let's do an excursion. Security, again, if you have sub-agents, you can choose everyone, if not, nobody. And then give your activity a good title. So here I'm just going to do, let's see, what activity can I do? Whale watching Mexico. And I'm just going to save that. Oh, no, I'm not, because I don't have any text. So what I want to do though is I don't want to just put text in there. I want to add a nice image. Technically speaking, I could come in here and just paste an image in there. It might look good, but it also might not into my itinerary email. So we have a little workaround that most of you might not know about. So I wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to save that as is for right now, but I want to show you, let me go find a picture for whale watching since that's what we're doing, and I can show you the process. Let's go to images. Well, that's a beautiful picture. Let's grab this one. Save image as. Okay. So I'm gonna look on my computer for that picture. What you have to do in order to have all of this work is, you see this picture, it's very large. So if I were to just paste that into my trip activity list, I guarantee it's going to mess up with your itinerary template or proposal template. It's not going to work. Your header is going to look off. It's just not going to look professional, which is not what we want here today. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to resize this picture to a format that I know is going to fit in my template. So here I'm on a Mac, so all I do is go to Tools, Adjust Size. I know on PC you can go to Paint to do the same exact thing. All you need is to resize the image. See how big this image is? What I need to do is resize it to 400 pixels for the width. Just need to change the width and it's all automatically going to change the height, and I can just save that. And this is the size I need. So anytime you want to add an image to an activity, make sure the width is no bigger than 400 pixels. I'm gonna save this, let me see, save in this format. And then the tip to do it, the little trick, is I'm gonna use a template to actually build that activity. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back, see my browser is still open at the top for my template builder. I'm going to go back to the menu there. And what I recommend doing is adding a new template that you're just going to repurpose every time you're creating a new trip activity. You're going to use that same shell for the template. So I'm just going to do add template. This is going to be called my activity template. I'm just going to paste that in the subject. That email is not going to any client. It's just going to me. Template type, I'm just going to make this a traveling template type. It really doesn't matter. Again, you're just sending this to yourself. It's just a workaround to be able to have a really nice looking activity. Here, I'm going to share it with nobody. I'm not going to add a header and I'm not going to add a footer for this. This is key because you'll see the process in a few moments. I just need it to be just the image in there. And I'm going to make this active and apply. I'm going to open that template up. The first step is I'm going to go to options and I'm going to change the template width. The default is 600. That's the size of most of the templates you send through the CRM. I'm going to change that to 500. Once I've done that, all I have to do is take a full grid, add an image, and I'm just going to go and add the image I just saved in the right format. Select, apply. Now, if really all I need is the image and I saved the rest of the text and the activity, I can stop there. Or you can actually build the entire activity from here. I would just add another full grid, text, and you can just go in here and paste any text. So let me just go in. I'm sure I can find some type of article where I can just paste some text. There we go. Another tip since we're on here, anytime you paste any information into the templates, remove the formatting. That is going to make sure that it's not going to send in an odd way and it's going to look exactly the way you see it. So just select your text and hit that little T at the top to remove formatting, and then you can go in and just play with the font, the color, anything you'd like here. Once my activity is built and it's ready to go, all you have to do, first I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to send myself a test email. Now all I'm going to do is go into my inbox to locate that test. And the only tip here is you just have to select all your wording up to your image, copy that, and go and paste it inside of your trip activity. Move this part here, paste. And then I'm going to click this little save button, and then we're good. Now I can go into any trip or any proposal. Let's go into this Doster fall trip. I can go to add activity, excursion, and all I have to do is type in some keywords and it's going to pull with the image and everything looks great. I'm going to hit save, and just to show you the overall look, if I go to communication, itinerary email, here it's going to pull while the property was already in there, but it's also going to pull my activity and it's going to fit within that template. So that's why it's very important that your image isn't larger than 400 pixels, because it will fit perfectly and this looks really nice. So my biggest tip, and I know a lot of you will love doing that, it doesn't take that long to see. It took me probably 5 minutes to actually save the image in the right format and then include that in my trip activities as easily using a template. So this allows you to save it and reuse it in as many proposals and itineraries as you'd like. So hopefully you learned something today. I know those are a few questions you guys had, so hopefully you can utilize that and build really nice looking emails and itineraries. Thanks for watching.